Welcome to the Car Connection Workshop. I am Nile Motormouth Jenkins. I am your host on this channel, and thanks for stopping by. If you want to learn how to keep your vehicle long-term and keep that engine and transmission running forever, because remember, mileage doesn't matter, maintenance does. You're on the right channel. We got something for you today, but before we do that, we want to say thank you to the sponsor of today's program, City Auto Sales and Leasing, Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. Low mileage vehicles at fair prices. Check them out on the homepage of our website. Let's get to it this morning. Here's what I got for you. Yes, the Toyota FJ Cruiser is still in spring evaluation mode because I found something else. I missed it, and it happens. And here's what was happening. This is the passenger side tie rod end, and it's tight, and there's still grease in there. But this boot was kind of smooshed down. I'll just show you, and that's why I didn't really recognize it. This was down like that. And I thought what I was looking at here was grease oozing out, when actually what it was is the boot is torn away. So when I find this, you got to get it off of there, because now everything is, the whole socket is open to roadkill. And it will grind this out in no time. So if you just leave that, you're going to be back in there. You're going to be back in there doing a tie rod end. So, and these are the factory tie rod ends. They've lasted almost 400,000 kilometers, and I was greasing them with my needle greaser, and that's probably how they made it this far. And if we look at the opposite side, you can see there's grease coming out here. So this boot too is ripping open. But that's my grease. That's not the factory grease. These things lasted a lot longer because I'm going to show you what happens in today's parts world. And this is really squashed down as well, so it's getting ready to do the nasty and split open. So you might as well do it. And it's really tight. Like, I mean, it's good and tight. Good and tight. It could be German. Yeah, gluten tight. If you're gluten-free, you don't want these tie rods. But anyways, I don't think they're gluten-free. So, yeah, there is. I checked the front end, and it's tight and right, but this is not, you can't leave that. Same with grease is coming out, so you might as well. If you're doing one side, they're both the same age. Here's what I suggest all the time. Whatever you do to the right side, do the left side. Unless you've already been on the left side and done stuff, and you didn't update the right side. Because it'll always catch you out. It really, really will. So I ordered, yeah, see there's a split right here. There it is. I knew there was one right there. See it? Right here. There's the split. The boot is dried out. The grease is coming out, because it shouldn't be oozy like this if the grease is in there and the boot is working properly, and it's not. So there we go. There's the split. That's why the grease coming out. So again, whatever you do to one side, you do the other side. You just do them up and do it right. But as far as wear, they're not worn out. And you can't buy those boots. There was a time you could pop those boots off and replace them, but I tried looking for them because the tie rods are okay. But now the boot's open, both of them, the road crud's going to get in there, and I'll tell you, like within 5-6 months of highway driving and water splashing and grit getting in there, you'll be changing tie rods. So before you kick it out the door, you've got it already up. We've done brakes. If you haven't seen that, we've done the brakes, and we're going to have 100% brakes on this now. I've tolerated not very good braking for the last couple of years. You'll have to watch that video on why that was. I explained it out for you, so I won't back up and go over it again. So I went online, and what I was looking for was tie rods with grease fittings. And I thought, based on the write-up, I was getting tie rod ends with grease fittings, but I didn't. So we're going to install these, but I'm going to show you how to prep these. I ended up getting them, and look, no grease fittings. But in the description of the component, it showed grease fittings. It showed getting a nut. It showed getting a cotter pin, wherever that went. Oh, here it is. A cotter pin. And it definitely showed me in the description you also got a grease fitting. But as you can see, same as these factory ones, nothing's coming with grease fittings anymore. And had the description said no grease fittings, I could have got them somewhere else and I could have got them with grease fittings. But anyways, these took 6 days to get here, and I need to get this truck back out on the road because it has a lineup of work to do with my trailer. So, and we got to help somebody out of a jam, and it's going to require the FJ plus the trailer. So we got to get this thing mobile. We still have rear brakes to inspect, and then we're completely done at that point. But right now it's up on stands. We got to take care of it. So I'm going to show you in the next video how you can make these work and hopefully last for a fair amount of time before you got to replace them. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can get another 400,000 out of these tie rods. What do you think? Put that in the comments. It doesn't say where they're made, but I can assume that it's in the Western world, the Western Hemisphere. I'm pretty sure, because that's pretty much where everything comes from. So I'm hoping that based on what I show you will get me maybe halfway there. But I'll tell you, next time I'm ordering tie rod ends, I will definitely 100% make certain that there's a grease fitting on them. And there should be no reason why. Because here's the issue, and I'll share that when we cover this in a separate. Oh, we have a studio question.
Aren't we in the West?
Are we in the Western world? Should we go to the
Other side.
East? Yes. The East. Haha, grasshopper. Yeah, they came from the East. Exactly. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking about chicken fried rice. I don't know why. Where'd that come from? Is that the time? Yes. So we're going to cover this in the next video so I can walk you through if this is all you can get for your vehicle is replacement front end parts and there's no grease fittings on them. I'm going to show you a little secret on how you can make that work and make them last longer. So stick around and watch the second video where I walk you through how to do that. How do we make this type of product that is pretty much readily available out there? And you might say, you know, we're always looking to pinch pennies here in the Car Connection workshop, but without sacrificing quality of workmanship. They are quality. I would say they look comparable to the factory, wouldn't you? Pretty much. They look pretty much comparable. There's the flat. They're shaped the same, they're designed the same, and the same style of boot. So I would have to say these are Japanese. These are definitely from the Eastern world somewhere, because even the chamfer here is exactly the same. There's a chamfer right there. They pretty much match spot on, except no grease fitting. Now I was considering drilling a hole here and putting a Zerk fitting in myself, but after waiting 6 days, I'm not sure if the ball that is in there is seated really close to this plate or not. I'm not sure. So I wasn't willing time-wise to take a chance and drill this out because I really wanted to, and I finally decided a different way of the approach, because everywhere you look, there's no grease fittings, whether it's a ball joint, tie rod end, inner or outer, or an upper ball joint, there's no grease fittings. And the other reason I settled for them was, yeah, I could get them from the local parts store, but I would be paying double the amount of money I got these for. So, and that's not going to happen even on my own truck. Is, you know what, if they last for 200,000 kilometers, I'm happy with that. If they last a year or 2 years, I'm pretty sure I can get a solid 2 years out of them the way I would take care of them and make sure there's grease still in there and keep an eye on them. So I'm going to show you a trick, and you can do it yourself as well. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and you have a grease gun, then you'll be able to do the same thing I do. So let's wrap it up there, and we'll see you in just a few minutes on the other side. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and mostly subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. If you'd like to support the channel and even our podcasts, we have a Buy Me a Coffee page, and it's simple and it's easy, and there's no cost to you to use the page. It's buymeacoffee.com/Motormouth Nile, and that's in the description on our YouTube channel and on our podcast as well. So thank you to all of you who take a minute to support the channel, no matter what it is, a little or a lot. Skippy and I will definitely use the monies wisely to keep the channels moving forward. So we'll see you in the next one, and thanks for stopping by. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, yeah, the weather bell. I know you're enjoying the videos. Don't forget to ring the bell.